Hey guys, today I'm back with another cross-stitching video, finally. I just want to take a little bit of time to talk about what I like to use when I'm cross-stitching to hold my work. A lot of people will use just a simple hoop, and there are advantages and disadvantages about these, but I've gotten to where I don't like to use a hoop anymore. You can get them in different sizes, so depending on the size of your work, you can have, this is maybe a small to medium size, but this is what I always used to use. And what I don't like about it is if I'm doing something that's bigger than this area, I have to constantly undo the screw, move my work. This leaves really bad creases sometimes, and when you finish your piece and you wash it and iron it, that should help to get the creases out, but it's just a pain for me. So I just don't use a hoop anymore. What I did find that I like, and the first one that I tried, are these frames. And this one is actually a scrolling frame. So you have these buttons on the side here that you can unlock. This side kind of locks in, this side does not. So you can see this piece, I need to move it up and down. So what I can do is take this bottom one and unlock it and scroll it some to loosen that bottom, and then take this top one and just snap it in like that until my work is nice and tight again. This is good for much larger pieces, I would think. In my opinion, this piece is barely big enough to fit on this frame. So if I was doing something that was about this width but a lot taller, then this frame would come in really handy because it has that scrolling feature. Because like I said, this piece, I think it's just barely big enough for it. The middle part of it is not as taut as it would be on a hoop. So you can see it's got a lot of give to it. And really the only way to fix that would be to pull it off, put it back in the top part, and tighten it down again. And you can give it just like a little extra bit, and that tends to get it tight, but it gets it tighter on the sides than it does in the middle. Still, it's tight enough for what I'm doing. Another thing I don't like about this is that it kind of twists, so it's not as sturdy while I'm working. So I'll sit here with it like this, doing my stitching, you know, and it's just not as, doesn't feel as sturdy to me. Other than that, I do like these scrolling frames. I like that I can do a lot bigger piece on a fairly small area here, and it makes it easier to carry it around with you because I can take my work and just toss it in this bag. Make sure I get the needle in there. And I've got my chart and everything in there, and I'm ready to go. So I do like those. They do have some things I don't like. So like a smaller cross stitch would not work well on that. I'd have to get a smaller version of that frame. And they do make different sizes of that. But if I'm working on one that's about a medium size, it's too small for that, but I don't want to use a hoop for it because it's too big for the hoop, that's when I have this. This is my new favorite frame. Oh, and one thing that I didn't mention about the scrolling frame is when I'm holding the work, I'm not actually putting my fingers on the edges of the cross stitch. When you use a hoop and you're holding the edge of the hoop, your fingers are all over that, so you get a lot of your finger oils and stuff on the actual Aida cloth. But on the scrolling frame and on this frame, you're holding the frame and not the cross stitch, so you don't get finger oils all over it. And I'll start with the downside, is that you have to get a different size for each different cross stitch. It's not as easy to move as it is on the scrolling frame because you have these little PVC pieces that you have to pop them off and they can stick on it pretty good. But these little pieces that go around just this PVC frame, and you could even make these frames, just get some PVC pipe and make them. You just pull your Aida cloth over the edge, pop that on there, and then you can give it a little pull, a little twist, and that pulls it nice and tight. And what I like is I can twist the sides, and I can twist top and bottom, and my entire work is good and tight. It's got a little bit of movement in there, but I'm always just kind of retwisting. And then I'm holding the edge here. So I'm sitting here working, and I'm holding the edge, just sitting here going to town with it. And you can kind of see too when it's not even, you can kind of just twist your little PVC pieces here until it gets good and even, good and tight, and then just do your work. And if part of your fabric is not right, you can always pull this back off, pull it back down. It's quick and easy to set your cross stitch up on this. Just like the scrolling frame, this size would be okay. It would be pretty easy to carry around, like if you're going on a trip and you want to throw this in a bag or something. I know a lot of people probably don't keep their work on a frame the entire time they're working on it, so they may put it in a hoop, take it out of the hoop to store it until they come back to work later. I like the convenience of keeping it in a frame or a hoop the entire time, and that's probably why I end up with bad creases when I use a hoop. But with this, it's just rounded on the edge. There are no creases. Same thing with the scrolling frame. It's rounded. There are no creases to worry about. I really love these frames. This is the only one I have right now. I would probably go a size up from this as well to have a couple of different sizes to be able to do larger cross stitches as well with one of these frames. And like I said, you could make these. You could just go buy the PVC, get some connectors for the corner, just little elbow joints, put it all together, and then take these, just cut you a piece of PVC that's the same size actually. Now rounding off these edges, this is one thing about making it that I'll throw in there. I'm not 100% sure how you would do this. So these have little rounded edges so that when you put it on your work, and they're also, the inside is has little striations in it. You can hear it where I'm rubbing my finger over it. But that helps to grip your Aida so that when you pull it tight, and then the flared out edges help to keep it from tearing your Aida or hurting it in any way. So this is my favorite frame at the moment, but I do like the scrolling frame as well. I would highly recommend the frames. Like I said, if you want to venture out and try to make one yourself, go ahead, but they're not really that expensive. So, and if you go to Hobby Lobby, that's one of my favorite places to get my crafting supplies. They do always have the 40% off coupon. So if it's not on sale, get you a frame, use the 40% off coupon, get it at a good deal. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, new videos on all the other hobbies I enjoy, as well as more cross-stitching stuff, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you'll know when I post new videos. Thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.